Welcome to Massive Beers. My name's Matt. We do the beer stuff here. A little bit of Hidden River up in this piece in the form of their Eagle of Death. This be a best bidder. That's right. Ty. You might know Ty from sending me beers. I actually sent Kyle from No Beer Reviews some beers. He ended up sending a couple people beer reviews, beers. And I'm sending me off some Hidden River stuff. Reviewed it. They reached out and said, hey man, let's toss you a box your way. We enjoyed the video, so this be the first one we're reviewing from this. This is a 4-point something. Can't really read it. Best bidder canned on, 9.6. A couple months ago. Its best bidder should be more than good enough. So yeah, let's dive into this sucker, see where we're at. It's Thanksgiving. Well, by the time I post this, Thanksgiving is long gone, but today is Thanksgiving. I had a wonderful, awesome day with the family. I don't know how this has happened because I don't want to say I'm like a black sheep of the family, but my brothers and sisters all have a bunch of kids and they host a bunch of stuff. But my house has become default family central for holiday parties. But it just this year just didn't line up. So it was just me, Liesel, Micah, my mother-in-law, my brother-in-law. Very, very small, very intimate affair. And it was absolutely fantastic. Mike is in bed. Football's going on. Actually, we're in a little bit of a lull, hence the beer review. Fruit flies are still in full effect. It's very cold out here. It's like 60 degrees in my shed. I forgot to turn the heat on today. But yeah, let's dive in a sucker, see where it goes. Label-wise, it's awesome. It's got this kind of griffin-y eagle. It's an eagle. Yeah. It's this Eagle of Death. It's definitely an eagle. Kind of what I would call like old Stipplewood etching kind of design. Very cool. Dig on their art design on almost all their cans. A lot of abstract art, so some of that stuff can be a little bit neutral, but I dig this can quite a bit. And honestly, if you're looking for English mild, this is kind of spot on exactly where you want it to be. This kind of what I would call it is almost like sun tea, like an iced tea sun tea kind of vibe. A bit of haziness to it. That kind of rich, kind of orange / brown mixture with this beautiful head. Didn't dissipate super quickly, but I talked too much, so it dissipated decently by the time I got to the point of talking to it. If I were to give this a hefty whirl, it'd probably come back really easily, but for some reason, this stippled mug I can't twirl around in because I'm defective or something, but it definitely looks the part. Let's put it that way. Let's get onto this nose. Yeah, tannic tea-like vibes. I don't know if it's this iced tea kind of thing kind of plopped into my head, but it's definitely like tannic tea-like vibes. Kind of what you'd expect from an English mild. Kind of like your Kent Golding, your Fuggleys, your Nugget, maybe. Something along those lines, kind of old English-style hops. Nugget's not really that, but you know what I'm talking about. There is it. I forget my hops sometimes. But it has that kind of rich, kind of tea bag, kind of tannic tea-like, leafy kind of vibe to it. What you expect from an English bitter. And it's nice, soft, like you made a little bit of brown bread, but instead of sugar, you used caramel kind of vibes to it. So caramelized brown sugar kind of vibiness to the way the kind of sweetness comes off. Nothing too heavy-handed there. Definitely comes off in that 4% range as far as impact, as far as what's jumping out on the nose. But yeah, definitely smells the part. Let's dive in. Cheers, y'all. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's definitely like there's this richness to this beer that's a little bit elevated what you typically find from like an ESB. I'm not hating it by any stretch of the imagination. It just has this robustness from the malt side of things, from the hop side of things. It is really just kind of an Americanized version of a bitter in a very, very fun way. Because the core tenets are still there. It has that nice kind of slightly English malty, marisottery kind of malt bill to it. Has this really nice kind of soft kind of mouthfeel to it. A little bit kind of akin to what you'd expect from cask ale. It's not cask level soft, but it has those kind of vibes to it, so it brings a little bit more to the table there. And then on the hop side of things, it's really, really tannic and very, very fruity. I almost kind of like want to go into like raspberry iced tea vibes since we're kind of leaning into this kind of iced tea kind of metaphor thing with this beer. But the thing I want to stress is keep that all in context. It's expressive. It's vibrant. It's huge for its style, for the 4% here. We're not talking, there's not a 2x4 to the face of flavor, but since you're talking about an ESB, It's hitting all those marks. It just, we're spinal tapping everything. We're taking everything here to a little bit more of an 11 for the style of what it may be, and I dig on it. Again, you get some BJCB nerd sits down and drinks this. I think they go, it's a little bit too showy for the style. I think that's a bunch of malarkey. I think it's just someone putting their fingerprint, someone putting their DNA into a style that is true to style with their own little twists on it. But again, like I said, if we kind of roll it back to the actual beer itself, beautiful, full mouthfeel for its style. The hop presence here, like I said, there's a tannic tea light to it, and there's almost a soft red fruitiness to it. That's why I went the whole raspberry kind of vibe. Softer, neutral fruitiness to the way the kind of hops come off too, which is very, very cool. And on the flip side of things, there's this rich, robust maltiness. There's a little bit of residual bittering here that builds on each sip. I dig that too. And even though special bitters and ESBs and things that are called bitter in today's world, they're really not all that bittering beers. For this, it's just a skosh bitter, more bittering you expect from a classic of the style. And that malt bill side of things, again, those rich kind of maltiness, that marisottery vibey, kind of just rich English style maltiness. Without being overly sweet. Again, 4%, we're not going to get a huge sweet there anyway, but at the same time, like I said, everything is hitting the marks of what you'd expect in a kind of classic bitter. Yeah, just a little more showy, a very, very fun way. I dig this quite a bit. Again, a little bit out of style, but I mean, we're beating a dead horse by just repeating that word over and over again. But in the grand scheme of things, I think if you really dig on kind of classic English style beers and you really dig on ESBs, best bitters, those kind of things, you would dig on this. Hopefully you would, because I know I am. So there you go. Reviewing the books. This is rich maltiness. Again, keep in context, ABV level here. Rich maltiness, expressive hoppiness, nice lingering bittering, really beautiful mouthfeel. Isn't one of the better bitters I've had. Is like, yes, it's a Mount Rushmore. So that's worthy. We're kind of like going by style. It's just eking out, but it's worthy of being up there. So yes, value and availability. Hidden River. Gotta go there and get it. And they're in, what is it, Chalfont? Douglasville. Why did I think of Chalfont? That's weird. I think my brother mentioned that town today. Yeah, so go to the brewery and get it, and leave you with, if you like what we like this beer. If you like old school English style beers, but you don't mind a little bit of American twist on it, you will dig this. So there we go. Herky jerky beer review in the books. It's been a couple days since I've done a beer review. Got a little nasally, got a little like sicky, got a little coffee, post nasal drip coffee thing. So, shaking the rust off a little bit. Might as well do it with a nice bitter. So, yeah, Hidden River. Have you been to the brewery? Have you had their beers? Have you had this beer? All that fun stuff down there. Hopefully you enjoyed the review. Hopefully you're enjoying a little bit of a Turkey Day ESB or Pest Bitters. All right, goodness right now. Hope to see you next time. Cheers, y'all.